Blog Talk Radio.
Stainless, skill, stainless, skill, stainless, skill,
What's good? Welcome to the Ant Show, and I'm your host, Expect the Ant. And on this week's episode, we'll be discussing Deflategate and all the foolishness going on with that. And we'll also discuss the lack of black people in Major League Baseball. So before we go ahead and jump into things, I am joined this week by M. Bowden. And for all you loyal listeners out there that's been with us since Jump Street, you already know who M. Bowden is. Before all the new listeners out there on Specker, M. Bowden, go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's good, world? My name is M. Bowden. What's good with the world, man? Been MIA for about a good month or two, but hey, I'm back up in the game. I got my Ebola shot. I'm good now. I'm good. Good to be back, man. Good to be back. Good to be back. What's good,
man?
World?
It's been long 2 months. So M. Bowden's back, since you guys are new to Specker, then M. Bowden's now joining us, depending on how you look at it. So for those of you listening on Specker, man, you can go ahead on my profile page and follow my social media websites. And for those of you that are going to be listening on iTunes, you can go ahead and follow me on Twitter at Inspector Ant. That's Inspector NISPECTAH_Ant. And I'm also on Tumblr at Mad Sexy. And pretty soon I'll be making a social media pages for just this show only. So the social media, I think I'll make a Facebook and a Twitter for only the Ant Show, and that's it, nothing else, no personal stuff, just the show only. So I'll be making that soon, and I'll be posting it up there pretty soon. Just look out for it. Let's say that. Just look out for it. So let's start things off, man, by discussing Deflategate. And after 3 months of investigating, the NFL has finally laid down the hammer on Tom Brady. They found Tom Brady guilty, and they have suspended him for 4 games because, Roger, depending on how I feel, Goodell decides to suspend Tom Brady for 4 games. Now today, Tom Brady and the NFL Players Union have filed an appeal to the suspension, and the Patriots decided to submit a rebuttal of the Wells report. According to the Patriots about it, the Patriots said the NFL cannot suspend Tom Brady because the NFL has no evidence that Tom Brady preferred footballs that were lower than 12.5 PSI. And there's no evidence that anyone even thought that he did. Now, Roger Goodell decided to make his decision to suspend Tom Brady based on text messages between locker room attendants Jim McNally and John Jastrzemski. And that has to be like the most stereotypical Boston names on earth. Jim McNally and John Jastrzemski. Don't get more Boston than that.
Teddy Bruschi.
Yeah, Teddy Bruschi.
Need me a beer. It's out Bruschi.
So based on those text messages between those two guys, Roger Goodell and the NFL decided to suspend Tom Brady. Now, for those of you following the story for the last couple of days, you know that Tom Brady did not, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, he did not give up his phone. He did not give up his text message. He did not give up his text messages, transcript, and he refused to cooperate. And the one thing we've learned from Roger Goodell is that A, that man does not like to be lied to, and B, he does not like it when you refuse to cooperate with him. And since Tom Brady refused to cooperate with him, Roger Goodell had to give Tom Brady the Marshawn Lynch treatment. Now, yeah. So now the Patriots say that about the text messages. The Patriots said the problem was relying on text messages to derive meaning are well known. They do not convey tone of voice. So Bowden, you are America's #1 Patriot hater.
Yes.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this whole Deflategate saga and the NFL? And the New England Patriots kind of sticking it to the NFL here, as they're not gonna let this die down.
I don't know. We talked about it. I think when it first came out, before the Super Bowl came up.
Yeah, back in late January, early February.
And we were screaming conflict of interest all day. And months passed. February came. Okay, Super Bowl over with. The Seahawks lost, right? They lost.
At the 1 yard line. At the 1 yard line.
Should have ran Marshawn Lynch up the middle. Should have ran him up the middle. Now, what got me is just how Roger, depending on how I feel, Goodell, just all of a sudden just lay the hammer down on them all of a sudden. Like, ain't nobody even thinking about the Patriots. We want to put that behind us.
Hell, ain't nobody even thinking about football.
Football, yeah. I guess it just had to be. I think all this going on right now is just for Roger Goodell character, his image, to make sure that, okay, I didn't cut them no slack. But, it seemed like it was so many diversions. He was after the Falcons, about the stadium. You understand? Like the noise.
About them pumping crowd noise in the stadium, which Roger Goodell determined that was cheating, and that was and that they lacked they determined it was cheating, and that it ruined the integrity of the game. Integrity of the game, and also suspended the general manager of the Cleveland Browns for sending text messages during the game, because again that is classified as cheating, and that ruins the integrity of the game.
Integrity of the game. So to me, on a personal note, I'm a throw a little hand clap for Roger. At least he covering his tracks. That's how I look at it. At least,
Yeah, even though it did take him 3 months to do it.
Yeah, 3 months to do it, but at the end of the day, job well done on Roger Goodell. Thank God.
So you think Tom Brady deserved the 4-game suspension? Even though 4 games seems small, but you got to understand the NFL they only play 16 games. So by suspending Tom Brady 4 games, suspending him 25% of the season.
Yeah.
So you agree with that? Because that could really affect the Patriots and how they do this year.
Yeah, I agree. Anytime, that versus getting fined $100,000 or get fined. You understand what I'm saying? Better.
To me, it's worse than getting fined $100,000 because Tom Brady be suspended without pay. So for those 4 weeks, he's not getting paid.
But hey, man, he should have did the right thing. Do the right thing, man. He should have did the right thing. Just imagine if it was Marshawn Lynch that did the same thing. They would have suspended him a whole year. So he'll be all right. That boy got it.
Roger Goodell was starting to suspend him for the Super Bowl just because he wore a hat.
Has to be more careful. Just because he wore a hat, I feel. Oh, you're not gonna answer them? You're not gonna answer them questions? Marshawn, you think he's cute? You're not gonna answer the question?
Rachel. I don't appreciate your line of questioning. Who's gonna pay for it? You gonna pay for it? I didn't think so.
I don't think so. Oh man, but yeah, I totally agree. I believe 4-game suspension is justifiable. I think it's just, I think Roger Goodell made a good move on that. I feel like he really, really cleared himself up, because for a minute I didn't think the Patriots were going to get fined for a second. I didn't think anything was going to happen to him.
Well, I thought the same thing, because it took so long. Like I said, it's been 3 months, like you said. ain't nobody even thinking about Deflategate. Hell, ain't nobody even thinking about football right now. So, I mean, for this to come out the blue, you know, I forgot about it. I didn't think anything was going to happen to the Patriots. Now, like I said, man, it just balls. He deflated the balls. And I understand it is cheating. It is breaking the rules. I kind of grew about it, even though I think it's a stupid rule, because, you know, you wouldn't really think that the ball will make that much of a difference, even though I will admit that it is easier to throw a 10-pound ball when everybody else is playing with a 13-pound ball. So that 3 pounds does make a difference as far as, you know, your ability to throw the football. But at the same time, I think a lot of people think that the 4-game suspension is excessive. But I grew up about, you know, a rule is a rule. You got to follow the rule. You break the rule, you do get, you know, trouble. So, you know, he will be suspended 4 games. Like I said, that is a quarter of the season. It's 25% of the NFL season. But my question for you, Bowden, is how do you feel about the union filing an appeal on Tom Brady's behalf? Do you think the union is going to win the appeal, or, I mean, what do you think about that? Because, I mean, I understand the union has to do what they have to do. You know, Tom Brady isn't one of the players, and they got to look out for him. And so I understand why the union, you know, has his back on this and is going to appeal and fight the NFL on this. But what's your thoughts on, you know, the union filing an appeal, and where do you think Tom Brady's appeal is going to go?
I'm gonna say that I'm glad that the players' union is at least stepping up for the rights of the players. That's a good thing. Tom Brady aside, I'm just glad that they coming together, you know, on issues that, you know, if right is right, wrong is wrong. I'm glad that they got that, you know, check and balances. You know, you gotta have that. You gotta have that. It's a good thing that they have that. But I wish that they would be more. What word I want to say? I wish they would be more enthused about getting Ray Rice back together. You understand what I'm trying to say? Getting him.
Yeah,
back
Ray Rice. I mean, he is eligible. You know, his suspension is over, but for whatever reason, no team is trying to sign him.
Yeah,
and right now he's pretty much being blackballed. That's why I look at it. He's being blackballed.
And that's my thing. I mean, somebody need to fight for him. Tom Brady good. You know, he just won him a Super Bowl. You know, he got bonuses and everything. He good. He ain't got to worry about
that. And not only that, Tom Brady at 38 years old, I mean, his career is almost over.
Yeah. But, you know, young Ray Rice, you know, he young, you know, and running back, you know, how many years a running back usually stay in the game? And he been out the game for a while now.
Well, he missed all of 2014, and the way things looking right now, he might miss all of 2015 as well.
So when you say the players union, I think to myself they behind. I don't want to say they're behind the wrong players, but
I mean, you forget, man, they did fight for, you know, Adrian Peterson.
Right. And how did that turn out?
Well, he got reinstated after the draft.
Right. And he is eligible to play next year.
Yes, but right now the question is, where's he going to be? Minnesota said they're not going to trade him, even though he wants to be traded. But Minnesota, they ain't going to trade him, so it looks like he'll be a Viking.
Be a Viking again. Hey, I really just stick with the. Even though Minnesota they kind of throwed him out there, though. They kind of like, hey, we don't have nothing to do with this guy.
Well, see, Adrian Peterson, he got hurt. He got his feelings hurt because he felt like Minnesota didn't support him. Now, in fairness to me, I feel like Adrian Peterson just shut up and just suck it up, only because he has to understand that at the end of the day, the Minnesota Vikings is a corporation. They're a billion-dollar corporation. That's what you got to look at it. These teams are billion-dollar corporations. And whether you agree with the law or not, at the end of the day, the law is that Adrian Peterson was charged with child abuse. I don't care who you are. I mean, you could be working for McDonald's. No company is going to stand behind you when you're being accused of child abuse. Like, that's not a good image for the employer that you're working with. You could be working at, FedEx. If you charge with child abuse, that's a serious charge. So Adrian Peterson has to understand where Minnesota was coming from, and not, and by not standing behind them. Because if Minnesota were to come out and be like, oh, we support Adrian Peterson, and therefore it makes it look like they support child abuse.
Yeah, that sound about right. That sound legit. That sound legitimate. And thank God that he cleared and he go ahead and back in place. I was wondering, did that charge get thrown out of court or is it stuck?
No. It's still on his record. They just gave him a community service.
But he still got his livelihood. That's a good thing. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
he didn't have to do no time or anything like that. He got community service.
That's an awesome thing. Back to
yeah,
the original question you were talking about the players union. Yeah, I agree. You know, I'm glad they is backing these players. You know, like Tom Brady. You know, me personally, I believe Tom Brady could stand on his own 2 feet without the players union backing him up because you know he's Tom Brady. You know what I mean? Somebody gonna get him in there.
but I mean, I think he needs the union though because I think the worst thing. I mean, he's gonna be suspended regardless. You know,
Right.
but I think he needs the union though because I don't think he want to miss. You know, a full month because he's not. I mean, if the 4-game suspension holds up, Tom Brady will not be able to play until October 18th. Like I said, he would have already missed 25% of the season. So, you know, you look at it because the football season starts September 10th. So therefore, he won't be able to come back until October 18th. So you're already looking at a month and looking at pretty much 5 weeks right there that he'd be suspended. He missed the first 5 weeks of the season. So
even including pregame.
I don't know. He can play preseason. He can play preseason because nobody gives a fuck about preseason. He just won't be able. He just won't be able to play in the regular season. So that's what I mean. He'll miss 5 weeks of football. So he needs the union to back him up and file an appeal and see if they can get rid of this suspension. Because like I said, it's not only that he got suspended, he's being suspended without pay. So for those 5 weeks, he ain't getting paid nothing. He ain't making no money, and you don't get paid for preseason. So he needs to play regular season games to get paid, and he ain't getting paid for 5 weeks. So I mean, that's why he needs the union to back him up and try to get this and try to get rid of the suspension, try to appeal the suspension.
Bill.
Yeah.
As his wife pulled the load. Isn't he married?
Yeah, he married to the supermodel.
And speaking of, I heard some type of scandal happened to Tom Brady. He got into some type of trouble. Did you hear about that?
I don't know what type of trouble you're talking about. What happened with Tom Brady?
No, I think I probably overheard. You know how you walk past magazines and you see little stuff.
Tabloids.
Get tabloids, yeah. Little subliminal messages on radio, yeah. But I might be wrong.
All right. Yeah, okay, so looking at the Patriots' schedule, back to the Patriots. All right, so now the question is, how would Tom Brady being suspended affect the Patriots? So here's the Patriots' first 4 games in which Tom Brady will miss. And looking at their schedule, I think it might be a tough start to their season if Tom Brady can't play. It might be a tough start to the season anyway if Tom Brady does play, but you look at their schedule, these are the games Tom Brady will miss. The first game of the season is play the Pittsburgh Steelers. If Tom Brady loses his appeal and he's going to be suspended, I think they lose that game. So that's the game I think where they get their rings. So Tom Brady, the first game, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The second game, they play the revamped Buffalo Bills, who added a bunch of players this year to get better. And I think New England will lose that game. In the third game of the season, they play the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't care. I mean, I could be the quarterback of the Patriots. I still think we will sorry-ass Jacksonville. So I think New England could win that game. And then their fourth game of the season, they play the Dallas Cowboys, which, of course, I'm biased because I'm a Cowboys fan, so I automatically think they're going to lose that game anyway. Even if Tom Brady plays, I think the Cowboys are going to win that game. So I think the Patriots will start the season 1-3 without Tom Brady.
So tell me this, who is the backup quarterback?
Jimmy Garoppolo, who they drafted last year to be a potential replacement for Tom Brady when Tom Brady retires. So it looks like that kid might have to play now. He can't wait till Tom Brady retire. He's going to have to play now. Now there is a rumor though that the Patriots are looking to sign Michael Vick. Just in case Tom Brady loses his appeal, they're looking to sign Michael Vick, and Michael Vick might be the quarterback instead of Garoppolo. I know you're a huge Michael Vick fan. Yeah. I know you're a huge Michael Vick fan, but you hate the Patriots. How would you feel if Michael Vick goes to the Patriots?
Man, I love Vic, man. I think I might have to be a Patriots fan for a minute.
The first 4 games.
Yeah, first 4 games, I might have to be a Patriots fan. Nah, man, I'm Michael Vick, man. Like I said, man. Hopefully he don't miss. He don't, because Michael Vick ain't the same. He been in the game about 10 years now.
Longer than that, man. Longer than that, since 2001. So you're looking at 14 years.
14 years. So, he ain't same old Vick, ripping and running.
Tom, man, Michael Vick only about a year or 2 younger than Tom Brady.
Yeah. He getting up there now. What I'm thinking to myself is, that'd be awesome. I mean, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome to see. Because I would like to see Michael Vick towards the end of his career shine. I mean, do good, Maybe
even if it's only for 4 games.
For 4 games, just I mean, how many games do you know after after he got out of prison that he just actually just did awesome? Like, damn, Vic doing it.
Actually, no. In 2010, when he was with the Eagles, that was like the best year of his career.
Best year of his career.
And after that, age, started, catching up to him. Yeah.
Yeah, that age, man. One thing about age, man, the aging process. Hey, you can't stop it.
Well, I mean, like we talked about with Kobe Bryant, man. Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah. He should have followed Shaq when Shaq put them boots up. He said, "Hey, man."
Yeah, like Shaq said, man. When Shaq retired at the age of 39, Shaq said it. 39 ain't 29, man. I can't do it like I used to.
Sure. Yeah, man. Yeah, that like I said, I can't stand the Patriots, but see my boy Vic out there, doing his thing. Hopefully, he make an impression, do his thing out there. But yeah, that'd be interesting. I didn't even know that. That's news to me. Yeah.
Well, it's the rumor. It's just a rumor for right now. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but that's the rumor that if Tom Brady loses his appeal and he will be suspended for 4 games, that the Patriots might, instead of going with the young fella, they might go ahead and sign Michael Vick, and Michael Vick might be the quarterback for his first 4 games.
Yeah.
Now, ironically though, when Tom Brady is eligible to come back, that game will be against the Indianapolis Colts, who is the one that snitched on the Patriots about the balls in the first place. So how ironic would that be?
That'd be crazy. They had to see him one way or another. They had to see him, riding them Colts. You remember that he was head on Facebook?
Yeah, during the playoffs, he put that on Facebook. Yeah, he put a picture of himself on Facebook riding a Colt.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Crazy. Man. But Super Bowl, it's weird because, we in, May? And hold on, let me step back, man. Hey, y'all, fans. Let's wish Inspector N a happy birthday. Today is his birthday, y'all. You give him a happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. But, yeah, man, we got May, June, July, preseason, like early August. So,
Yeah, preseason starts in August. So, I mean, you still got about 3 more months till, the season. Training camp actually starts in 2 months in July.
2 months in July. So, I'm looking forward to football again. Can't wait. But speaking of football, let's talk about, I was wondering, did the trade deal, who did they trade it to Dallas as a running back?
Nobody. Dallas decided they wanted to draft Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley, the running back at the UGA, who everybody thinks is going to be the next Marshawn Lynch. Dallas wanted to draft him, but St. Louis went ahead and drafted him first.
Okay. So St. Louis got my man from UGA, Gurley.
Yeah. Okay. Now, Dallas was trying to trade for Adrian Peterson. Like I said, Minnesota ain't trying to trade him.
They ain't trying to trade him.
So right now, Dallas is stuck with Darren McFadden, who they got from the Oakland Raiders, which I'm not really feeling that signing only because Darren McFadden never stays healthy.
Never stayed healthy. And they traded our boy to Philadelphia, right?
No, he ain't even traded. He's a free agent, and he wanted to stay in Dallas to Michael Murray, but Dallas gave him a low ball. Yeah, gave him a low ball offer. Talking about they thought he was bluffing. He went ahead and took more money and went to Philadelphia.
Went to Philadelphia, DeMarco Murray. Yeah.
No, Jared Jones talking about. I thought he was bluffing. You can't just low ball him, give him low end, give him $1 million a year. You crazy? But after what he did,
he thought he was bluffing. Yeah, he cheap. What's wrong with you? I mean, I play for $1 million a year, but hey, if I'm making them stats. And
but even you, like, okay, you got offered like $1 million a year from Dallas, but Philadelphia's offering you $5 million. Shit, you might as well just move to Philly and take the $5 million.
Take the $5 million, buy me a Mercedes Benz.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, with $5 million, man, you can buy Genos.
Buy Genos and just call it Bowden. M. Bowden. But
M. Bowden, famous Philly cheesesteak.
The cheesesteak. Yeah. But yeah.
And because of that, Michael Irvin's picking Philadelphia to win the NFC East this year.
Michael Irvin picked the NFC. Oh man, I guess it made him so mad. He just said, I had to go against home team.
Yeah, but I mean, Jerry Jones still talking shit though. Jerry Jones said that he still feel like Dallas is a better team without the Michael Murray than they were with him.
We'll see when the season starts.
Yeah, I mean, Uncle Jerry running his mouth.
Yeah. I wanted to see Dallas win the Super Bowl so bad last year, man.
Yeah, I thought I would have gave Dallas a chance to win it this year, man, if they would have kept that team together. But Jerry Jones wanted to be cheap. Talking about he thought DeMarco Murray was bluffing when he said he wanted more money. He wasn't bluffing. So you can't leave the NFL in Russia and you think that you want get paid minimum wage.
You think it's McDonald's?
Yeah.
Should I move it up from crew to maintenance, man? What you want?
He tied with Marshawn Lynch for the most touchdowns, in 2014, 13 touchdowns. And Jerry Jones
got to crown him.
Yeah, Jerry Jones was trying to, pay him, minimum wage just to thought he was bluffing.
What else going on this sport do?
All right, yeah, so we're going to move on now. We talked about Deflategate. And, before we move on real quick, man, I want to get your thoughts about it. I already discussed it. But your thoughts, so, the Patriots, so let's say Tom Brady loses his appeal, which we all both think will happen. So therefore he'll be suspended 4 games. Looking at the Patriots' first 4 games of the season, you have they're at home against Pittsburgh. I think that's the game to get their rings and stuff. So they get their rings that night against Pittsburgh. Then the second game, they're on the road at Buffalo. Third game, they're at home against Jacksonville. And the fourth game, on the road at Dallas. So I'm thinking, looking at those first 4 games without Tom Brady, I can easily see the Patriots go 1-3. I think they can lose to Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and Dallas, so they'll definitely beat Jacksonville. So what do you think that's going to look like?
I think it's about the same.
Yeah, 1-3.
Yeah. I think it's about the same. Unless that quarterback show us something that we don't know.
Well, yeah, like I said, he was a rookie last year. They drafted him to be the heir apparent, but it looks like the heir apparent fee might happen a little quicker than what the Patriots wanted. So he's the heir apparent. He's going to be the guy that's going to take over once Tom Brady retires. But we might get a preview on what he might be looking like, what the future might hold, the first 4 games of the season. As for this kid, the future might be a little early for him, at least for the first 4 games. So instead of him sitting and watching Tom Brady and learning, how to play quarterback in the NFL, he might have to, get out there, get out there in the fire. Even I got to say, this kid is lucky. As a rookie, he won a Super Bowl last year. So, big ups to him.
Throw his name out there one more time.
Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, another stereotypical Boston name.
Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes on him. Keep y'all eyes on him. Jimmy Garoppolo.
All right, man, so we're going to move on. That's enough of Deflategate for this week anyway. And so, if we have any more information, we'll sit it out there, next week maybe. So I was watching, we're going to move on. I want to talk about this clip that I found, and I thought it was very interesting, and that is Chris Rock. He's one of my favorite comedians. Bowden, I know he's one of your favorite comedians.
Yes, yes.
But he was on HBO's Real Sports the other day, and he had this to say about people in baseball. And like I said, I found the clip to be very interesting. So before I give you my take on it, and before Bowden gives you his take on it, I'm going to go ahead and play the clip of Chris Rock on HBO with Brian Gumbel. And we'll just sit and listen to what Chris Rock had to say. And then after that, we'll just give you our thoughts on, Chris Rock. So here it is, Chris Rock.
My pleasure to introduce Chris Rock for Real Sports on why blacks have abandoned baseball and why it matters.
I'm an endangered species, a black baseball fan. Why don't black people like baseball anymore? When I was growing up, we loved baseball. I followed the Mets, and in 1986, we won it all with Doc, Darryl, Mitchell, and my man Mookie. Back then, almost 20% of all major leaguers were African American, and I could actually have conversations with other black people about baseball. Hey, what's up, man? You see the game last night? Yeah, it was great. Now, if I say to a black person, did you see the Met game last night? They'll say, what the fuck's a Met? Last year, the San Francisco Giants won it all without any black guys on the team. The closest thing to a person of color in the stands was their mascot, a biracial seal. If you want to see a seal clubbed to death, let them stroll through Brooklyn flashing those rings. And the team the Giants had to beat to get there, the St. Louis Cardinals, had no black players either. None. How could you ever be in St. Louis and see no black people? And get this, their crowds were more than 90% white, like the Ferguson Police Department. Baseball isn't 20% black anymore. It's 8% and falling fast. That's an average of 2 guys per team. And those 2 probably listen to Blake Shelton to keep from getting their ass kicked by their teammates. Running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. Stillman is one of the oldest black schools in America. Almost every kid there is black, except for these 36, the baseball team. 1 black kid and 35 white guys. And at Howard University, the Harvard of black colleges, they said fuck it and just canceled baseball altogether. Now, they still have volleyball, tennis, even lacrosse. Yeah, lacrosse was black enough for Howard, but not baseball. Some people say it's money. Baseball is too expensive. But hey, Dominicans play it. This is a tiny third world island, and it dominates baseball. And the only equipment they have are twigs for bats, diapers for gloves, and Haitians for bases. It's not the money. You can't tell me black kids can't afford baseball when everybody's buying Jordans for $300. That's 6 gloves right there. It's the game. It's old-fashioned and stuck in the past. You got the white-haired white guy announcers. You've got cheesy old organ music at the games. I mean, where's the Beats by Dre? And every team is building a bullshit, fake, antique stadium that's supposed to remind you of the good old days. You know, the good old days of Ruth, DiMaggio, Emmett Till. Guess what? Black people don't like to look back. Throwback Thursday is about as far back as black people like to go. But baseball can't get enough. Last month they had a throwback baseball tournament where everybody got dressed up like it was the 1860s, back when batting runners in meant putting down a slave rebellion. had it down in Franklin, Tennessee, at a plantation. Then the next day, they all went back to their jobs as corrections officers and state senators. Baseball wants everything to stay the way things used to be. The world has sped up, but the game is slower than ever. Last year, the Mets played a half inning with no hits, and it took more than 22 minutes. That's a whole episode of Key and Peele.
Where is Aaron right now?
And baseball doesn't just have rules from another time. It has an old-fashioned code, too. When you score in football or basketball, the players celebrate. Good times, come on. But when you score in baseball, the code says you better not look too happy about it, or else a baseball will go whizzing by your head. Whoa. It's the only game where there's a right way to play the game. The white way. The way it was played 100 years ago, when only whites were allowed to play. This code doesn't exist in other places where they play baseball, like Korea, where bat flipping is an art form. Or the Caribbean, where the games are a carnival. The old Negro leagues were a carnival too. There were actual clowns on the roster. They played with invisible balls pitched through their legs. But in America's proper version of the game, baseball is like a visit to the Queen. If you don't bow correctly, it could be an international incident. When Yasiel Puig got here 2 years ago from Cuba, the first thing the Dodgers told him was, be ready to duck. Whoa. Baseball even knows it's uncool. They've tried every trick in the book to be hip, but they just look so desperate. Hasidic beards, exploding home run signs. They even try to steal cool from cool black guys. But all that ever does is make the black guy look uncool. Look what happened to 50 Cent when he tried to throw out the first pitch.
Just a bit outside.
Hasn't had a hit record since. I don't care about any of this as a black guy. I care about this as a baseball fan. We don't really need baseball, but baseball needs us. Fact is, black America decides what's hot and what young people get excited about. Ask the men's golf tour or the women's tennis tour. Why don't you just ask Mitt Romney? You lose black America, you lose young America. And make no mistake, baseball is losing. Yeah, the owners made more money than ever last year. But while they were celebrating, kids were skateboarding away. Little League participation has fallen 20% since 1995. World Series viewership is down 50% during the same time. Of the people who still watch baseball on TV, 5 out of 6 are white, and their average age is 53. That's not an audience. That's a Tea Party rally. Baseball is dying, literally. Maybe if baseball gets a little hipper, a little cooler, just a little more black, the future can change. But till then, blacks in baseball just ain't a good match anymore. Blacks don't seem to care, but baseball should be terrified.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, so that was Chris Rock's take on blacks and baseball. And the reason why I found this topic to be very interesting when I heard it is because as a black man, I'm 28 years old, so I'm much younger than Chris Rock. Chris Rock is 50. So obviously Chris Rock has lived in a time period where, as you mentioned, going back to 1986 where, blacks dominated baseball. For me personally, I was born in 87, so I wasn't even born back in 86. So I never lived that time. I never lived in that time period. I never seen it. But as a 28-year-old black man in America, it made me think, and that is, in my 28 years of life, I don't think I've ever met one black person who was actually a fan of baseball. As a kid, me and my friends, we never said, hey, let's go out and play baseball. It's either let's play basketball or football or something like that. I've seen more black kids play tennis than baseball. So I thought it was very interesting what Chris Rock had to say. So, Balvin, what's your thoughts on Chris Rock's point about blacks and baseball?
Yeah, like you said, I think the same. I feel the same way. When I was growing up, I used to collect baseball. I used to collect them cards, baseball cards. And back when I was coming up, you had Jabo Jackson, you had Deion Sanders, you had Ken Griffey Jr., you had black faces. You had a couple of black faces in baseball. You had that. Even the
even then, you just named three. Three. Like I said, I was born in '87. You were born in '85. So for it to fall from in 1986, what Chris Rock was talking about, where blacks dominated baseball, up until when me and you were coming up in the '90s, how it fell so much to where there was only a handful of black people, and now it's gone to the point where, like Chris Rock said, baseball's only 8% black, which is pretty much 2 players per team, 2 black guys per team. So from '86 to now, it's pretty much falling flat. Like, black people are just not interested in baseball. And even use the example of Spelman. Spelman's one of the most historical black colleges in America, and yet the team is white. So like, all the white kids that go to Spelman just play baseball. And then Howard, as you said, Howard University, they just said, "Fuck it, we ain't gonna have a baseball team anymore." They got rid of baseball. But yet they kept lacrosse. So like Chris Rock said, lacrosse is black enough, but not baseball.
You know what I think? It is? I think it's more hands on. See, baseball, you gotta have a little bit of skill. You know what I'm saying? You have to time. Everything is timing. And you can't really just use your masculinity. It's more of finesse. You understand when it comes down to baseball? I mean, when you hit that ball, you're gonna have to put a little ump in it. But as far as catching the ball, making sure you throw first, third, first, and get both of them out, or like you said, it's I wouldn't want to say, because I never really. I went to a couple of baseball games. I went to Brave games in Atlanta. I went to 2 Brave games.
Same with me, man. I've been to a few Oakland A's games, but I'm just saying though, what got me about what Chris Rock was saying, and like I said, Chris Rock is much older than us. So he's 50.
Way older.
He's old enough to be our dad. But me being only 28 years old, it made me realize that coming up as a kid, and even now as an adult, I have truly never met a black person that's just a fan of baseball. It really made me think about it. Like, I've never really met a black person that was a fan of baseball. All my friends that I know that love baseball are all white.
Yeah.
And that really made me think, and that's what got me. And even me as a black person myself, I'm not really a fan of baseball either. I might watch the World Series. I might catch the World Series here and there. But as far as following baseball and watching it from start to finish, I just can't. I just can't do it.
Can't do it. Me and you were talking about this. I believe we were talking about how the
the new commissioner wants. Well, excuse me, the new commissioner, changed the rules a little bit to kind of speed up the game because he felt the game was moving too slow.
Yeah.
Which some of the older generation around Chris Rock's age had a problem with.
What was the guy named? I think his name Lopez, right?
You mean David Ortiz of the Boston Red Sox?
Ortiz, there you go. He was talking crazy, like, yo.
Yeah, I ain't changing shit. This is the way I play. And according to and most baseball fans, they'll tell you, the rules have been the same way for 100 years. Why change it? But as Chris Rock said, times have changed. This ain't 1915 no more. This is now 2015, and you got to move along with the times. I think that's another problem that baseball has that in their ways. They're resistant to change, and as Chris Rock used as an example, they could change it up. If you watch baseball in other countries like Korea or the Caribbeans, where